Hello and welcome everybody to another Wild West Coast Wednesday here at TRACKILICIOUS. I am none other than Saagar Bakshi. Mike Noss has got a plate of food in front of him, so we're not going to disturb him tonight. We're just going to let things ride. Tonight we're at the famous Watkins Glen circuit, where we're going to be racing our heart's content. We've got 22 drivers loaded up in this qualifying session right now. They've got all of their elbows out, and the times are going to be indicative of some pretty close racing. Let's take a quick look at the calendar before we get into the qualifying session. On Mondays, we have our GT4 Rookies and our GT4 Open Series. On iRacing, we're going to have Tuesdays and Thursdays, the NASCAR Truck Series, and then, of course, the GT4 Championship. West Coast Wednesdays is today, along with Syntho Drive starting its inaugural run tonight, the season's 6, I believe, and they ran events 1 through 3. The GT3 Championship is on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we got more special events lined up. October 30th, November 3rd, and November 6th, we got Spooky Suzuki with a livery contest, the Sun Sprint at Zandvoort. The Flooded Silverstone is gonna be pretty gnarly. 2 20-minute races back to back is gonna be exciting. We're running at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get right over to the qualifying session. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, where we're going to watch Max Power do maximum things. He's already up into 4th place. We're going around this around 100-second lap right now. We've got drivers in the 140s. Ricardo Rivera, no surprise there, I'm sure, for everybody. They're sitting at P1, and we got Commentators in P2, and we got Anthony Kelly from FNM in 3rd place, Max Power in 4th place, K Moss in 5th place, Brackett in 6th, Worley is in 8th, gets bumped back by Suzo. And then we got Darren Wicks, Neil Kerbel, Reggie King, Devin Anthony, Eric DeBoss, Kakasi, and Patrick DeBow. John Freeman, Wright, Rustin, Cruz, Weaver, Chronotis, Bowman, and GB. We're going to call him GB for the rest of this event. I apologize until I get a name pronunciation check on the number 762. I'm not going to even attempt that. I apologize, sir. Let's see what K Moss can do. How is he doing out on track? He's about a half second improving right now, so that 45.5 may end up being a 45 flat. You might be able to bump Anthony Kelly a step back for just a moment, but he loses that 0.3 gap in the second corner here. Getting to the line, he does get bumped back, actually. Darren Wicks goes provisionally into 4th place with a 144.660. Not enough fuel in the tank to give Anthony Kelly a run for his money, unfortunately. Neil Kerbel gets bumped back. Justin Brackett gets bumped back. Philip Suzo goes forward, and he's in 9th place right now. No Mike today, Mr. Udstitsev. Mike has got a plate of food in front of his face, and we won't be dared to disturb him from that. So you're stuck with me, Vidiek. I hope that's okay, sir. It's okay if you're not okay with that. Sometimes I'm not even okay with that. Sometimes it gets a bit lonely up here by myself. Ricardo Rivera still sits in P1. Well, thank you very much. I like you too, Astitiev. And how come you're not on track tonight? I would like to know. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but curious why you're not running the West Coast Wednesdays. A little hydrate action from the world's tiniest water bottle. Mike Noss would be so upset with me. I would need at least 18 of these to fill up Mike's little water jug that he carries around. You don't want to race your life away. Oh, that's the only way I lived my life for years. Ricardo Rivera pulling off now. That might be the end of his qualifying run. 143.062 is the fastest lap of the session that he's holding on to. Kreothios going a little bit faster. He's got about 2/10 in the bag right now. Where is he out on track? About to approach the bus stop. Chicane. And hopefully he can carry a little bit more speed there. Look at his rear wing light up. That red just flashing everywhere on that McLaren. That looks so sick. That's awesome. What's going on, Mr. Roo? Bouncing into my life. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate all the love and support, Mr. Roo. You still never identified that fish that we and Mike were looking at from Monday. Oh no! Yagakaru says, I'm sad I can't make this race. I lost power 2 hours ago. No! What a bummer. I know how that is. I live up in the mountains too. When we lose power, it is pretty much the end of your night. And you kind of start winding down for the end of it. What's going on, Ricky Racing PR? Thank you very much for being here. Welcome to the chat. Trying to keep an eye on the YouTubers as well in chat. We are streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch. So, of course, if you want to pick your preference, go ahead and chop it up. Rally Dutchie's in the house! What's going on, Mr. Dutchie? Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Love you, man. Cryothios MP2 with a 44.3. Man, Ricardo Rivera's putting in the work tonight with that 43 flat. People have a 1.5 seconds to improve almost. Max Power does at least. So does Freeman. Look at those gaps right now. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. K Moss goes provisionally into third place with a 144.4. But Darren Wick snatches it away in third place with a 144.387. Yeah, he's got the subscription for pole. Absolutely. I wonder how many subscriptions that costs. The power company decided to do maintenance at this hour of the night? That's ridiculous. At least our power company likes to do it right first thing in the morning, right before I try to jump in the shower so my water heater cuts off. Qualifying session is about to end, unfortunately. Ricardo Vera in P1, Cryothios in P2, Darren Wicks in third, K Moss in fourth, Powers in fifth. Got Alex Freeman in 6th. Anthony Kelly got bumped all the way down to 7th place. Wow. 144.89 was his best, and he did that a couple of laps ago. Joshua Squirrely Whirly with a 44.992. Neil Kerbel with a 45.0. Gelson Cruz with a 45 flat. And we've got Curtis Rustin, Philip Suzo, Max Bogman, Justin Brackett, Professor Kanotis, Eric Gakassian, and a little bit of race going on right now. The number 13 getting chased down by Cryothios as he tries to get to the line. Is he able to improve by anything? I don't think so, no. 44.487 being that last lap. Barely didn't improve on his personal best. That was your top 10. We ran down all the way to 14 with Justin Brackett. Potts Weaver, Professor Kanotis, Eric Gakassian in 17th, Reggie King in 18th, Devin Anthony, Patrick Dubois, Aaron John, Jace Wright, and someone help me with the 762's name pronunciation. Galbadrak Bayarjarga. Bayajarga. Anyone, I will give a free subscription to Tracklicious if you can get a name pronunciation guide for the 762. Deep dive into Colonel. You mean Kerbal? I think he meant Kerbal. Air Colonel. Eric the Boss Gakassian? I can give you a deep dive of this. Potentially not. Sometimes my F7 camera decides to not work for whatever reason. And this seems to be one of those moments where it really does not want to give it to me. So we're going to get the LFM. He did say Kerbal. This is one that I'm really, really, really fond of. The Vault Tech Industries livery. Really, really good. He's got the Nuka-Cola logo out on the roof there. Vault Tech on the rear wing. I think we can get that one. Far Chase. We got the thumbs down on the back. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. Let's look at the rear wing. Vault Tech written on the rear wing. Now let's see if we can see Philip Souza's point of view on this one. Let's go to the front splitter here. And see how good that thumbs down looks right in front of our face. That is pretty sick. Oh, we got to do the livery deep dive and the grid rundown. Hold on, everybody. Let's start it off with Ricardo Rivera out there in P1 right now, doing amazing things with a 143.06. Cryotheos in P2, the number 81. Gelson Cruz, the 777 in third place. Darren Wicks, one of my other favorites, the Rusty Martini livery. K Moss in fifth place. Max Power with the Deadpool livery in sixth. Alex Freeman in seventh place. Anthony Kelly from FNM with a classic FNM logo. Joshua Worley, Squirrely Whirly, Neil Kerbel from the 395, Curtis Rustin in the 868, Philip Souza in the 213, Max Bogman in the 89 and 13th, Justin Brackett in 6th place, rocking a Mustang, Potts Weaver looking dashing in that livery, Professor Kenotis rocking a classic livery as always, Eric the Boss Gakasi and Reggie King in 18th, Devin Anthony in 19th, driving an AMR this time, Patrick DeBow always in a Mustang, Jace Wright, the boss, in 21. Aaron John representing India in the BMW. And we've got our boy GB in the Porsche running it from the back. What's up, Adam Strange? Hello to you. What's up, Jake Wells Racing? Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Rally Dutchy. And I see also Neil Kerbel is here. Who else? Ricky Racing, Official Karu, Vedyak, Ostitsia, Rally Dutchy. I think I said that already. And Mr. Rue. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for participating in chat. Love you guys so much. And thank you all for the wonderful support you guys give us here at TRACKILICIOUS. The race is on, folks. We're approaching the starting line now. Here the drivers go. Green, green, green. Drive-through penalties are already being dished out to some of the drivers, potentially being out of order right now. That is crazy. And it looks like Ricardo Rivera walks away with it, explores track limits on the outside of turn 1. And we got Cryotheos in P2. Gelson Cruz, K Moss improves, goes up 1. Darren Wicks goes down 1. Max Power, Anthony Kelly, Alex Freeman, Souza, Worley, Rustin, and it looks like Neil Kerbel was involved in an incident and he's falling backwards down the order right now. Let's see if we can get a recap of the incident that involved Neil Kerbel. Oh, but we got three-way right now coming up the S's right now as our boy GB and Aaron John get into it. Our GB's way off in advance, but we've got Aaron John having a little excursion here at the bus stop. And he manages to hold on to that position behind, in front of Potts Weaver behind. And who is that in front of these ones? This is Aaron John and then Gelson Cruz in the 777 out in front. Max Power and Alex Freeman going side by side for just a moment. Alex Freeman falls back at the toe. Action up and down the grid right now. 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all within 2 seconds of each other right now. This is what we're looking at from Max Power's car, looking forward towards Anthony Kelly from FNM. Darren Wicks in that Rusty Martini livery, carrying it away into turn 15, leading the charge. Let's see if we can go back really quickly and see what happened to that 85. Not seeing anything. I think we just had a race restart. I think we just had a race restart, folks. Yep. Okay. Woo! Maybe the real fish were the friends we made along the way. Possibly so, but there was a fish on this livery that we really still can't track down. And actually, this will give us more time to sort through liveries if we'd like to. Let's try this one more time, everybody. In first place, we've got Ricardo Rivera with a 143.0. We've got Crayothios in P2 with a 1.2 second gap back in the number 81, representing Odyssey Racing League. Gelson Cruz in the 777 in third place right now, 1.3 off the pace. Darren Wicks in P4 in the number 46 from Canada. K. Moss representing Jamaica Mon. What part of Jamaica you from? In the 823. Max Power in the number 85, representing Germany. Alex Freeman for the American in number 14 in 7th place. Anthony Kelly from FNM with the Fear Nothing Moto iconic livery. And Joshua Worley representing the Pirates of the Caribbean. He's got a little kraken on the side of his boat as well. Neil Kerbel in the Vaultec livery in 10th place right now. Curtis Rustin in the 868 from Canada in 11th place. Philip Suzo in 213 in 12th place. And we've got Max Bogman in 13th place for the number 89. Justin Brackett's going to be in 14th place in the number 6 Mustang. And that looks like a nice clean livery. Here's Potts Weaver, one of my other all-time favorites. I love the color scheme that he's got. The gold, the pink, the yellow. Potts Weaver, Professor Chronotis in his all-time favorite livery. Purple wheels, yellow livery to be seen from far away. Eric the Boscacasian repping this livery, looking very dapper. The Motorscraft car of Reggie King in the 111 in 18th. Devin Anthony rocking the AMR, and he's in the Aston Martin car. And we've got Patrick DeBow from Canada in the Ford Mustang this time. Jace Wright's in an Audi, the lone Audi on the grid in the number 24 in 21st place. Aaron John in the BMW for the 256. And then we've got our boy GB in the 762 with no country to his name to help me out. Thank you very much, GB. A little bit of restart. Adam Strange, I remembered you asked about my Sad Logan playlist, so I posted a link in the Discord just for you. Thank you so much. I actually am really curious what that sounds like, so I will give that a listen tonight probably when I'm making clips after the race. Give me something interesting to pay attention to. Adam Strange, if I haven't said so already, thank you so much for always being here. You're an amazing addition to this stream. Yeah, I just gotta say, you're an amazing addition to the stream, and you make this so much more entertaining than it should be. Thank you very much for everything that you do. I love all of your comments. I love your participation level. Thank you so much. But we've got a race to watch. It's green, 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 everybody. Headed down the front straight. It's side by side. Kyle Hirsch Racing is here, ready to go, calling the shots as well. And it looks pretty neat and tidy for Crayothios and Alex Freeman. Ricardo Rivera, is he in first place? He is in first place. Take a look back at this. Ricardo Rivera in first place, Crayothios in second place, Gelson Cruz in third place, Darren Wicks in fourth, K. Moss, Max Power, Anthony Kelly. And Anthony Kelly seems to have fallen back just one place already behind Max Power very quickly there. Good luck to everybody out there, says Rally Dutchy. Of course, good luck to everybody. Godspeed, really. Potts Weaver involved in a little bit of an accident. Touch and go, it looks like. The 89 and the 13th. The 89 of Max Bogman is in the background right now, getting major involvement with those barriers and even collecting a Pirelli tire banner just as a souvenir to take home with him, it looks like. Thing is flapping in the wings just like a butterfly. Look at it go. That is amazing. That deserves a clip. Oh no, there's K Moss and Anthony Kelly getting close to each other, getting involved, and there's a little bit of calamity there, as other cars had to dive around him for the most part, but he's seemingly doing okay right now. GB has a drive-through penalty for probably being out of position on the race start, it would seem. And the rest of the drive-throughs being cleared, nobody else having one right now. But this is a battle between 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and 9, all the way up to Joshua Worley. Drivers are staying really close to each other, but Ricardo Rivera, as always, has started to walk away with it. 1.3 second lead ahead of Cryothios. And there's Potts Weaver in the background having some track limits violations going over turn 1, but carrying a ton of speed up the hill, trying to cash back up to, I believe that's K Moss. Alex Freeman and Neil Kerbel going side by side on the entrance to the bus stop chicane. Backs out of it. Alex Freeman backs off by a wee bit and allows Neil Kerbel to go through. They've got quite a bit of time left to go in this race before things settle in. We got 17:20 left on the clock. We've got another 20-minute race coming up right after this, so don't think this is going to end right away. This is going to be one right into another as everyone heads into the chute, and through the toe we go. Here's Darren Wicks's wing looking at Max Power as Max Power is trying to drive it to collection here and get around Darren Wicks in this squirrely Porsche. Got fans for Squirrely Whirly out in chat. Joshua Worley, thank you very much for being here. Kyle Hirsch. Awfully close now between 4, 5, and 6. Darren Wicks leads Max Power, leads Anthony Kelly. And they're staying really close to each other. A little bit of gap forming right now as Darren Wicks seemingly pulls away as Max Power touches the wall at the exit of turn 15, and more drivers do the same in the background. A couple of drivers having that sweet, intimate affair with the turn 15 wall, and Potts Weaver deep on the brakes there. Wow, oh, there's a bump in the rump. K Moss turns around Professor Chronotis at the end of turn 1, backs off to allow Chronotis to back into this battle. But he's already spun around and may have touched a wall in dear fear. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of this action. Chronotis touches the wall right away. And then here's K Moss chasing down Chronotis as he's not carrying as much speed as I think was expected to do. And K Moss just sends it right into the back of Chronotis, spins him around. And does he go into the wall there at T1? He does. And that'll be it for him. Anthony Kelly right now from FNM is sitting in 6th place. That number 7 doing pretty well for himself. He's about 1 second away from Max Power as Max Power is getting really close to Darren Wicks, but we're looking at Reggie King chasing down Eric the Boss Gakassian. Cheers for Anthony Kelly from FNM Tyler. Tyler, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being here. This is Darren Wicks, Max Power, Anthony Kelly. This train still rages on. And in the background, we can see Neil Kerbel, Alex Freeman, Joshua Worley, and Philip Souzo. What a great name for a driver. Of course it is. Oh, still on the instant replay screen. I apologize. Alex Freeman, Joshua Worley, Philip Souzo right now. Chasing down Neil Kerbel about a half second in front. Let's go back to Joshua Worley as he tries to go around the outside through the S's. We know that won't work too well, but his next opportunity is going to be into the bus stop chicane. They're side by side on the way in, single file line, taking the neat and tidy, orderly fashion. But now Philip Souzo is going to want to get a piece of that. Goes off into the grass, and there's calamity. That is what calamity's definition is. A car stopped at the end of the bus stop chicane, and unavoidable contact results in absolute chaos. The drivers are all jostling for position, and that shakes up the order quite a bit. Let's go through it real quick. Ricardo Rivera, Cryothios, Gelson, Cruz, Darren Wicks, but we got a side-by-side battle. Philip Sousa almost got a threat on Joshua Worley, but backed out of it. Anthony Kelly's in 5th place, Neil Kerbel's in 6th, Alex Freeman's in 7th, Curtis Russell in 8th, 9th for Joshua Worley, Philip Sousa is in 10th, Justin Brackett is in 12th, switches up positions very quickly. Potts Weaver is able to get by Brackett. Devin Anthony, Eric Kakasi, Kay Moss, Reggie King, Professor Kanotis, Jace Wright, Aaron John, Patrick DeBow. That's your top 20. Bowman and GB's into the pits right now. Adam Strange requested a fun fact. I will get that fun fact ready for you, but give me some time to get through some of this action, as the action is just non-stop right now. I just found the strangest weird fact. Adam Strange. You might already know this one. Jaeger Caro can make race 2 for a fun time. Absolutely, brother. Can't wait for you to get in here. You ready for your fun fact? Here it is. Did you know that some species of turtles can breathe through their butts? It's called cloacal respiration. It allows them to absorb oxygen from water while they're underwater. This can be especially useful for turtles that hibernate underwater for long periods of time. I didn't mean to go there, but ChatGPT provided me with a fun fact, as Anthony Kelly just got around Neil Kerbel and gets promoted into 5th place. Was Worley upside down? Well, I was reading the fun fact. The number 47, let's go back and check out the 47. Oh. Almost upside down. That black car did fly out of nowhere. Joshua Worley getting the commentator's curse. Exclamation point curse to add to the commentator's curse ticker. Philip Sousa now chasing down Alex Freeman. This is going to be side by side in the bus stop chicane after the S's. He's going to go out to the outside line and really try to use this run, but he ducked out a lot sooner than I expected. Now he's got the lead. Does he cut off the nose of Alex Freeman? He sure does. Able to get the move done. What a play by Philip Sousa. Inverted positions again, Neil Kerbel and Anthony Kelly. One more time, Anthony Kelly makes a deep look at the toe. Doesn't really go for it, just trying to threaten Neil Kerbel into some mistakes. Didn't really get it done there, and now Neil Kerbel steps a wheel off into the grass, kicks up some pocket sand to try to distract Anthony Kelly, but I don't think that will work. Not a guy like Anthony Kelly that can be distracted so easily. On board now with Anthony Kelly from Fear Nothing Moto, and Neil Kerbel tries to defend the inside line. It looks like Anthony Kelly grazes the exit wall of turn 15, and there's a more grazing of Philip Sousa does so in the background, and so did Potts Weaver. A lot of cars getting very intimate with that wall. Here's Potts getting chased down by Brackett in the background. Brackett might have the run right now, as Potts Weaver has slowed down considerably so after that collision with that wall. I think this Mustang is going to make a run for it here into the bus stop chicane. I wonder if they're going to go side by side. Let's take a look at the battle in front as well. Philip Souzo still trying to hold off Alex Freeman. He does so well, but now it looks like Potts Weaver is able to defend as well and keep back the likes of Justin Brackett. Oh, Eric Akasian almost loses it coming out of the bus stop chicane. Doing well to hold on everybody. Oh, what happened to Potts Weaver? Let's do a 20 for 20 real quick. Into the toe we go, and it looks like Potts Weaver is doing okay, but what really happened to him now? Out here on exit, gets a tank slapper on his way around and just has to dive out of the way, letting the other cars pass him, and that car's got significant damage. And he's trying to limp that number 13 back home right now. Let's go on board and see if that wheel is straight at all. Oh, that wheel is not straight. That car is not having a good time right now. Potts Weaver into the pits. That'll be the end of his race, unfortunately, with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. I doubt he'll be able to recover from that. Professor Kenotis and Reggie King going after it right now. Professor Kenotis having that earlier spin with K. Moss and on his way through a recovery drive. Max did drop out. Max Power did drop out. Max must have been involved in that accident there at the bus stop chicane, where that car was unfortunately stopped, turned around the wrong way, and I think he must have been one of the victims that ran into it. Using all of the curbing and even some grass as well. Professor Kenotis really trying to do the work on Reggie King. On board with him right now. Let's see if he can get this move done going through the chute and now into the toe. Really cautious on throttle. You get off camber there on the inside now, going all the way through the boot and in towards the heel. Reggie King on the outside line. Kenotis has got a wheel on the inside, holds on to that position, may go a little bit deep, but can the Mustang get a switchback? He's trying to look for it. No, outside, turns the inside line, can't get the switchback confirmed. Kenotis is through on Reggie King. Adam Strange dropping weird and interesting facts on us. Did I hear about the new moon that was getting installed? No. Who's installing that? K. Moss chasing down Eric Akasian and Devin Anthony, and in the background we saw Potts Weaver coming out of the pit lane. Potts Weaver still in 20th position right now for that number 13 with 5 and 10 left to go. K. Moss chasing down Eric the Boss Kakasian. Oh, here we go on the inside of the outer loop. Now he's going to have the outside towards the chute, though. I don't think that'll help his cause, but he'll be able to run a little bit wider, carry more speed towards the toe, and he uses all that exit curve that he can. Still holds on to the inside line, going into the toe. Eric the Boss Kakasian forced to back off and yield that position as K. Moss carries as much speed as possible through the toe, and now in towards the heel we go. I don't think Eric can recall this position. What? An asteroid is getting caught in Earth's orbit for about a month? Can we see this moon? Can we see this little asteroid? Potts Weaver chasing down Gakassian, though. This is not for position overall. This is just for bragging rights at this point. As the second that Potts passes Eric the Boss Gakassian, he will start seeing blue flags. I want to see this moon. I really want to see this moon. There's a fly on my face, and I got it. I may have smacked myself on the forehead for that. Do not exclamation point clip me smacking my head for a fly. But I was wondering if it was on my monitor or if it was on my forehead, and boy, it was on my forehead. I bet we could find it through your local astronomy club. I bet there's some stargazing tours that are going on right now that will have that little baby moon on display. I would love to see it, even if I can't see it with my naked eye. I've been dying to see an asteroid for a long time now. I've seen some galaxies. Ooh. But no, I haven't seen any asteroids yet. Seen a meteor shower? No asteroid. That'd be cool. I haven't missed Halley's Comet, for crying out loud. K-Moss chasing down Devin Anthony, the 823 chasing down the 664. In case you're a DayZ fan, there is a new Star Wars mod for DayZ, which is actually pretty amazing. If you like Star Wars and you like DayZ, I highly recommend getting the Star Wars mods. Search for hashtag Star Wars on DayZ's. I think it's called Empire Z. Empire Z. Hashtag Empire Z, and you'll find it. Jay-Z representing Star Wars? Nah, dog. He's the king of the HOV. I said, you said, Jay-Z. Thought you said. I knew what you meant. Oh, Mike Noss is here. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. K-Moss getting involved with Devin Anthony on the inside line, headed towards the chute. Now we're into the toe right now. Devin Anthony still holding on in that position. K-Moss really knows how to set this one up again. He did it to Eric the Boss Gakassian not too long ago, and now he's going to try it again. Leaders on the final lap. This is going to be it. One more lap for all the drivers to get their final last lap lunges in. And I think K-Moss is working this one out in his head, trying to negotiate how he can get past Devin Anthony. Into 13, everything's looking neat and tidy for now. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness there. Everybody going towards the wall, even Eric Gakassian kissing it himself. Trying to rub the lucky Buddha tummy that is turn 15. K-Moss powering through turn 1, getting really close to Devin Anthony on the bumper even, but not touching there. And up through the S's is going to be all collected. I think so. Here's Darren Wicks going sideways through the bus stop chicane. Unforced error. It looks like Neil Kerbel was not involved in that whatsoever. Darren Wicks goes off and falls down into 6th place. Getting our last lap lunges in right now. Anthony Kelly, will he do something to Neil Kerbel? I don't think so. Still threatening in the background, but not really going for anything.
Has finished the race.
And that'll be it. Ricardo Rivera in P1, Cryothios in P2, Gelson Cruz in P3. Neil Kerbel's in 4th, Anthony Kelly potentially in 5th. We'll see as they get close to the end of this lap. Oh, there it is. There was a huge lunge, a big look. Really trying to go for it at the end of turn 15, but didn't really go for it. That scared me pretty deeply. Neil Kerbel in 4th, Anthony Kelly in 5th, Darren Wicks in 6th, Curtis Rustin in 7th, Philip Sousa is going to be in 8th, Brackett's going to be in 9th, Freeman's in 10th, Devin Anthony, is in 11th, K Moss in 12th, 2/10 gap separating Devin Anthony and K Moss at the end. 13th place going to Eric Akasi and Jace Wright, Professor Carnotis, Patrick DeBow, Reggie King, Aaron John, Joshua Worley, Potts Weaver, Max Bogman, and then GB rounding it out for the 22nd driver. Whew. Let's go back to the booth for a minute while the drivers reset their laps right now, and we get started for the next stint. The next 20-minute race will be coming up at us soon, so don't go anywhere too fast. Undercover Raccoon said, I saw a sad Franco edit today. Franco got mad fans and he earned it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Franco Colapinto, he's doing good things. Like someone said the other day, in 2 races, he scored more points than his former teammate of Logan Sargent, the Pride of America, falling back into another racing series, which is really unfortunate that he did not make it in Formula One. Hopefully we get another American in there soon. Who do you think that it will be? Sorry about the extra noise you heard in the background. That was not a sound clip. That was actually my dog Lexus barking in the background. Lexus likes to be involved in the streams as well. Who's going to be the next Formula One driver? Vadyek Ostitsiev said me. I said Pride of America. Vadyek Ostitsiev. Hi, Lexus, says Vadyek Ostitsiev. Lexus, you got fans. You got the fans love you, Lexus. It'll be Colton Herta driving an Andretti F1 car in 2026. Oh, man. Love to see the day. What's going on, Ace? How's it going? Thank you for loving my dog, Vadyek Ostitsiev. Appreciate that a lot. I always feel guilty. And thank you for the hydrate. I definitely, desperately needed this one. Oh, hydrate for Lexus as well? Her water bowl's full. She's fine. I'm doing good, Ace. We're doing our broadcast right now, and I'll be joining you hopefully in a few hours. All F1 cares about is the sponsorship money they can get from America. I doubt we'll see anyone in America in F1. Probably because they already won America over. Liberty Media did a great job of winning over the American hearts and souls with Drive to Survive. So they're like, where do you get enough money from you guys? We don't need to promote in America anymore. Adam Strange says, in my heart, Lewis is an American, so I say we already have one. He's a knight. He's a stinking knight already for GB, for Great Britain, the motherland of us all. How can you say that he is an American? Is Batman a knight? Is he really? I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true. The Dark Knight. It's Sir the Dark Knight. Is this real drivers? Yes, this is real drivers. Real drivers out on track, and qualifying session just actually started up. So let's go ahead and watch the queue for them. It's not AI. It's not bots. These are all actually real drivers going around on track right now. They're real drivers. I'm a real commentator as well. I matter. Daniel Ricciardo is more American than any other drivers. I agree with that. I think he actually has a house in Miami or Texas. I can't remember. I know they showed it on Drive to Survive. He like has an extra home somewhere out in the U.S. Not sure where it is, but I know he has one. What's with the Daniel Ricciardo hate? Why do so many people hate Daniel Ricciardo? What did he do? Show me on the Formula One car where he touched you. I don't understand. Was it when he got involved? Yeah, I like him too. I like him too. I don't understand where the hate comes from. Is it because he got into collisions with Max and he walked away from Red Bull like a fool? Probably. I understand that. Is it because he walked away from a McLaren as well, like a fool? Yes. Is it because he probably doesn't have a seat next season? Yeah, probably. I wish he was still doing well too. That's my biggest gripe with Daniel Ricciardo right now. I was like, I want to love him. I want to see him do really well, but he's not. And that really, really, really sucks. And the sad part is I think even if he was in a championship winning car, I don't think he would be able to win. Can you join this race? I think registration might still be open. You can try. You can't join this race, but you can join this series. Exclamation point SimGrid. And there's the link to join these races every Wednesday night here at Tracklicious. We also run on Monday nights for GT4s and Sunday nights for GT3s BMX Star. But obviously, since the qualifying session is underway right now, the server lobby settings have been set and the registration list has already been set. This is not an open lobby, I'm sorry. But feel free to sign up for one of the other events and go ahead and join up and participate next week or later on this week even. He's an easy guy to like, but the new regs haven't been good to him, said Kyle Hirsch Racing. Yeah. I mean, also you can say the same for Checo Perez. You know, the driving standards haven't really suited him. Everybody slaps on a hard tire and runs it to the end, which is crazy. Looks like our boy Aaron John getting in the way of Potts Weaver here at the end of 13. And Potts Weaver is on a flyer as well. What time every Wednesday night? Well, we start at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. $8 p.m. is when the qualifying session gets started. 30 minutes before that, so 7:30 Pacific Standard Time is when the race server goes live and we have free practice for half an hour. Driver's briefing is at 45 past the hour, so 7:45 is when the driver briefing happens, and it's track specific most of the time. So it's usually just a couple of regulations on track limits, violations, what to do in case there's an accident, things like that. Well worth the time invested to go to the driver's briefings. I hope to see you out on track next week, BMX Star 85. If this works out for you, I'm going to be looking out for your name. Be really happy to see you join and participate in this packed 24-car grid. Some of these drivers aren't even on the West Coast for this West Coast Wednesday showdown. Some of them are on the East Coast. Some of them are in Jamaica. So they're already racing past 11 o'clock at night on a weeknight. Pretty crazy. Yeah, you're right, Kyle Hirsch. I think the Red Bull seat second place has gotten to Checo. That seat got Gasly and Albon faster. Yeah. Yeah, it might be catching up to him, especially what happened. No spoilers, but especially what happened last weekend. That was absurd. You want Yuki in a Red Bull? Yuki can barely drive the little Raging Bull. I don't think he's going to manage. I don't think he's going to manage in a full Red Bull seat. I don't think they, honestly, I don't think they want him in a full Red Bull seat. Yeah, he'd actually snap. Yuki can do it. His short king powers will help him, but we'll have to see. Well, we got a qualifying session going on. Let me get a little bit of coverage on that at least. 787 of Ricardo Rivera, 823 of K. Moss, Gelson Cruz in the 777. Then we got Phil Cryothios in 4th place. Jace Wright is in 5th place. That's your top 5 down to a 44.497. So the gaps are coming down right now. Max Bogman's in 6th, Alex Freeman's in 7th, Neil Kerbel's in 8th, Suzo's in 9th, DeBose in 10th, Chronotis is in 11th, Darren Wicks is in 12th, Anthony Kelly's in 13th place. Wow, he's really low in the order. He should be out to improve right now. He's only got one more lap left to go. Where is the number 7? He'll really just get this lap plus one more if he's lucky right now. Eric Akasian's in 14th, Potts Weaver in 15th place, Devin Anthony, Joshua Worley, Curtis Rustin, Justin Brackett, GB, Aaron John, Reggie King, and Jaeger Karu. Yeah, 43.0. 43.020 for Ricardo Rivera. Absolutely insane. I think the man fuels his car with some speed. There's no way anybody else is getting close to that time right now. He doesn't put JP8. He doesn't put rocket fuel in there. He doesn't put VP racing fuel. He just puts pure speed into his car. Non-stop. That is absolutely disgusting. Disgusted with you, Ricardo Rivera. Who's out there to improve? Anthony Kelly's got a couple tenths in the bag right now. He's gaining about 2 tenths. Gelson Cruz out to improve as well. He's got a half second in his pocket right now, the black Porsche. Is this the black Porsche y'all were talking about flipping? No, Gelson Cruz didn't flip. Oh, dips a wheel off into the grass, and that Porsche gets a little squirrely there at turn 15. Does a good job holding on to some of that lap time, but he's not there out to improve. A 44.6 does not beat his previous best of a 44.3. And that'll be it for the top 5. Ricardo Rivera, Cryothios, K. Moss, Alex Freeman, and Gelson Cruz. Jace Wright in 6th place, Max Bowman, Curtis Rustin, Professor Chronotis, and Neil Kerbel. That's your top 10. Excuse me, Joshua Worley still out to improve right now. Is that true? Gets to the line, has 2 tenths in his pocket, goes all the way up into 15th place. Good job for Squirrely Worley. Nighttime. Exciting. We won't get a great look at some of these liveries now that it's nighttime, though. Hopefully the drivers remember to turn on their lights for me. That way I can see them in this brief darkness. Let's go ahead and do the starting grid shakedown. We've got Ricardo Rivera in P1 right now for the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club with a 143.020. Phil Cryothios in the number 81 in second place. Jaeger Caro joined the race in time to just see nothing. K Moss in the 823, number 14 for Alex Freeman. Gelson Cruz in the 777, following up in fifth place. Jace Wright's in sixth place for the number 24. Max Bogman is in the 89 in seventh place. Curtis Rustin in the 868 in eighth place. And then we've got Professor Chronotis in ninth place in the number 42. Graphic settings. Good call, Mike. Thank you. Neil Kerbel is in 10th place right now. Let's see. Options. Video. Options. What? What? Where are they? Oh, don't hate me, Mike. I swear I've downloaded them. I swear I've downloaded them before. I have them. Yeah, there's nothing there. You might just have to race in the dark. Oh, scroll down. We'll do a manual. Let's go. Hit me. It does look more real. Image contrast of 0.20. Exposure gain. That looks all right. Thank you very much, Mike Noss. This is why we love you. This looks real. This looks exciting.
Green light. Give it all you can.
0.5 on exposure, much better. Grumpy Patrick Gamer. Oh, we got a race going on right now. Let's try to mess with it in a second. Ricardo Rivera leads Phil Cryothios, K Moss, Gelson Cruz, Alex Freeman. It's neat and tidy in the background going through turn one. Everything looks quite all right. It's quite dark here at Watkins Glen in the nighttime. Looks like someone in the 89 doesn't have their lights on though. They're going to get meatball flagged for that pretty soon. Meatball flags being waved for the 89. Probably doesn't have it mapped. Doesn't know that he doesn't have his lights on. On the inside line, trying to go through in the dark. He's doing all right, holding on for one more day. In seventh place, he's doing it all right. Let's try the opposite numbers real quick. That looks just as dark as before. What did you react? Exposure on 0.5 is much better. Let's try that. We're leaving it as it is, folks. Race is on. Try image 2.0. Good middle ground, I think we found it. In the dark, we race. We broadcast in the dark. We do things in the dark. We do it live. Thank you, everybody, for still sticking around and helping me out with this. Really appreciate all the... No, don't. Not your bad. My bad completely. I should have had everything downloaded already. Grumpy Geriatric Gamer, thank you very much for the advice on the exposure. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a little too high the way it was before. I think this is a very good medium ground that we found. And this is Cryotheos getting chased down by K Moss. The battle for the podium is still here. Cryotheos in P2, K Moss in P3. No positions gained or exchanged for 1, 2, and 3 right now, but that's not the story that'll be written by the end of this race, that's for sure. I love the flashing headlights. I love it when it lights up the screen like this. You can see all of the exposure coming through. You can see the jittering of the cars. It's such a beautiful sight here at Watkins Glen in northern New York. GB has gained 9 positions overall. What the heck has happened here? Started off in 20th position, now sitting in P11. This guy has figured something out in one race's time. Holy Toledo, he is flying out there right now. Oh, Darren Wicks having a quick incident. Let's see if we can do a 10-second recap and find out what happened. Oh, just on the entry, following that other Porsche through, a little squirrely on the brakes there. Got a little tank slapper and just backed out of it, took to the grass. And there's the number 6 goes of Justin Brackett falling down the order. Just had a sympathetic spin, it looked like. Here's Curtis Rustin trying to chase down Neil Kerbal on the inside of the heel. 868 chasing down the 395. That is Neil Kerbal of Vaultec Racing. Mustang on AMG. Redeeming a hydrate. Thank you very much, Adam Strange. Hopefully that's for me and not for my dog. World's smallest water bottle. California regulations. Only allowed to drink 6 ounces at a time. No more, no less. Gelson Cruz with a big tank slapper at the exit of turn 1. He was chasing down K Moss, but now loses a ton of time on the entry to the S's. And that hurts you all the way going into the bus stop chicane. I know it's not a straightaway, but it basically is. Those S's are almost flat out. And Cryotheos, look at his lights on his car. Absolutely beautiful looking, the way the light shimmers off of his car when he hits the brake markers. Let's watch him one more time. Nameless QC rating with a party of 6. Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome. We are Tracklicious and we're racing right now for West Coast Wednesdays around the circuit that is Watkins Glen. Here goes Anthony Kelly versus Joshua Worley. Worley trying to do a switchback here at the bus stop chicane. Not doing a great job of executing that, but he's trying to hold on to that position. Anthony Kelly falling back all the way to 17th for race 2. Patrick Dubois now chasing him. Raid, says Sealy666. Thank you for being here. What's up, Nameless QC? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for your participation in any way, shape, or form that you can. And if you're interested in signing up, go ahead and check out the link below. Just type !SimGrid to see all of the Tracklicious events that are coming up here in the near future. We also have a couple of special events that are coming up, such as Spooky Suzuki with a livery contest. Are you guys from a racing community, Nameless QC? Where Dr. Porkchop? That's the question I'm asking too. Don't see him out here tonight, unfortunately. Got the likes of Curtis Rustin, Neil Kerbal, and Professor Cronotis, though. Friend of Porkchop's, right on. Well, thank you very much coming out here to support him. He was racing on Monday night, but not tonight, unfortunately. Might be a bit too late for him. We're starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday West Coast Series. Joshua Worley getting awfully close to Jaeger Carr, who's here for fun this time. Going through the bus stop chicane, nose to tail, figures it out. AMG chasing down the Mustang again. Patrick Dubois also chasing down Anthony Kelly from FNM, but Dubois is able to get through on Anthony Kelly. The 87 passes the number 7. Hope your stream went well, Nameless QC. Hope you and your friends are enjoying this West Coast Wednesday showdown. Got 11 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock. And this is race 2 already. Ricardo Rivera right now leading Criotios by 5.4 seconds, 1.3 back is K. Moss. Jace Wright is in 4th place. Gelson Cruz is in 5th place. Alex Freeman's in 6th place. Neil Kerbal, Curtis Rustin, Professor Canotis, GB, Reggie King, and Darren Wicks is the battle we're watching right now. Just blazing up the S's. Love the sound of the cars coming through right now. There goes Darren Wicks on the inside line. Can he hold on? He's just looking, not acting on it. We saw that go sideways for him earlier. This time he's a little bit hesitant to go through and follow up with that move. Oh, 100%. Tracklicious has got a great thing going. It's great to show up and just have some fun broadcasting as well. Thank you very much to all the Tracklicious staff that are watching, participating in everything you guys do, from setting up the servers, live stewarding, setting up the broadcast, getting all the graphics in order for us. You guys are amazing. You guys make our job so much easier. So big thanks to all the Tracklicious staff that makes this such a wonderful place. And of course, thank you to all the viewers and drivers, if I cannot forget them, because if it wasn't for the drivers, there's a big tank slapper if I've ever seen one. Reggie King bounces around into the wall right in front of Reggie King, right in front of Darren Wicks. And that'll be the end of that effort for him. And that 111 has got a lot of damage on him right now. Wheel still tracking straight somehow, some way. This is actually Devin Anthony a lap down, chasing the 111 of Reggie King. Devin Anthony ended up taking a pit stop and coming back out on track. A lot of cars with a lot of scuff marks on the rear end. You can see that purple Porsche of Gelson Cruz has seen some better days. 89 warps to pit. That's Max Bowman after having a yellow flag incident going off track at the bus stop chicane. Nose to tail right now. Gelson Cruz leading Alex Freeman, Gelson Cruz leading Neil Kerbal, leading Alex Freeman. Whoa, Squirrely Whirly and Reggie King going side by side. Squirrely Whirly goes through on Reggie King. Quick, fast, in a hurry at the heel. Oh no, there's another tank slapper for Reggie King again. Right at the edge of the heel. Dr. Porkchop, there he is. Not racing, but watching. He's not watching, he's lurking, folks. He was here the whole time. Just didn't want to tell us. Curtis Russin and Alex Freeman, Gelson Cruz and Neil Kerbel exchanging positions at the bus stop chicane. Neil Kerbel's able to go through on Gelson Cruz finally. Our Wreckfest friend Potts Weaver is racing. He is in 12th place right now, actually. You guys play Wreckfest without me? Man, that's rude. What server do you guys race on? That's the real question. P-Sox West is the best. K Moss still battling out. Yeah, that's the one, Dr. Porkchop. I didn't want to say it. But they got the best lobbies out there. They run it on the West Coast always. K Moss still battling for the second step on this podium, chasing down Cryothios by about 3/10 right now. These guys are nose to tail. And it looks like K Moss has actually had a better lap last than Phil Cryothios. Let's get the, well, can't get the comparison up, but 144.3 compared to a 144.0. Full onboard lap of Y Mazzino. Who are you, Y Mazzino? What's your name in game? And I will do a full onboard lap with you. On board with Gelson Cruz chasing down Neil Kerbel still. Jace Wright. Okay, thank you. Onboard lap with Jace Wright going through the bus stop chicane. Entering the chute after going through the outer loop. Tentative on the brakes there, waiting patiently to get on throttle. Here's where it really matters though, getting in towards the toe. Late braking double apex corner here in the toe. Got to make sure that you're not caught off camber too far on that inside line. It will give you tank slapper and send you around. Now towards the boot, entering the heel. Again, late braking corner, straighten out the wheel, gets on throttle, does a good job of keeping it straight. Downshift, turn in there at the top of the boot. Turn 13 was very nice and neat. Now pretty much flat here, a slight lift going through 14 and on the way to 15. Kind of a pump of the brakes and then throw the car in and then go all the way out to the wall without touching it. Stays in 4th gear, 5th gear. Let's go finish up this lap now. 5th gear, 6th gear, braking at the 200 board, diving in towards the curb, really compressing the car's suspension as much as possible. And now up through the S, this should be flat out for a guy like Jace Wright. Flat out there, curb to wall again. Stays in the middle of the road now, on his way to the bus stop chicane, braking right around the line there at the 250 board. Sends it over the first curb, keeping the wheel as straight as possible as you can, going over those curbs. That'll really just unsettle your car quite a bit. And then coming around the outer loop and down in towards the heel one more time. Oh, we had a little bit of a battle here for a second. I thought there was GB and Darren Wicks, but that one seems to be concluded. Back on board as he approached the heel. Turn 13, nice and easy there. Going all the way out to the wall again. Leaders on the final lap already. Boy, this time has flown by. Thank you very much, everybody. No, Jace Wright gets the commentator's curse. No! No way! No way! Jace Wright with a tank slapper at the turn 14. And now he's stuck air on track at turn 15. Can't get the car turned around. Exclamation point curse for the commentator's curse counter to be reenacted. Oh no. You can't keep watching him. More calamity will happen. Oh man. Utter destruction there. GB and Professor Cronotis getting involved in an accident? Let's take a quick look at this. This looks like turn 15, maybe. Yep, that was turn 15, and now down the straight. Everything okay for Cronotis and GB? No, just gets bumped in the rump there on the entrance to turn 1. And Cronotis was able to drive on through, but it looks like GB fell down a few positions, but he's still improved by quite a bit. I think he started in P20, now up into P12. He's got to be proud of himself for that. Maybe only lost 1 position, 2 positions overall from where Cronotis was in the top 10. Ricardo Rivera has finished the race, taking away P1 with a commanding 11.4 second lead over Phil Cryothios in P2. And then K Moss seizes a podium there in P3, unable to catch up to Cryo. Neil Kerbel in P4, he's got to feel good about that in the Voltec livery. And P5 for Gelson Cruz. Curtis Rustin is in 6th. Jace Wright is going to be taking it home in 7th after getting commentators cursed, losing out on a few positions himself. Alex Freeman in 8th, bringing it home. Darren Wicks, Professor Cronotis, Joshua Worley. Let's go back to Jaeger Caro real quick. He's awfully close to Potts Weaver coming through turn 13. GB, Joshua Worley in 11th, GB in 12th, Patrick Dubois in 13th, Potts Weaver in 14th, Jaeger Karu in 15th, Anthony Kelly in 16th, Eric Akasian in 17th, Philip Suzo in 18th, 19th, going to Aaron, John, and Devin Anthony in 20th position. And that'll be it for us tonight, folks. Let's get Ricardo Rivera, Cryothios, and K Moss into the green room, please. Love to get an interview with y'all. More flies. Back to the Tracklicious studio. You drive the better V10. You're welcome for the content. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kyle Hirsch Racing, for being here. Really appreciate you. Hope to see you next week. Is anybody here in the green room? I'm not seeing anybody coming down to the green room. If I don't see anybody come down to the green room, we're going to call it a night then, folks. Oh, we got Ricardo Rivera. Ricardo Rivera doing it again. How are you doing, brother? Hold on 1 second. How are you doing, sir? Hold on 1 second. The sound's not working properly. Let me fix something really quick. There we go. Now we've got you loud and clear.
I just hear you that you were sad because there was no one in the green room.
Nobody wanted to come talk to me, Ricardo Rivera. Nobody except for you. The one man who decided to come in. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir. What a commanding victory that you had, 2 races in a row. Man, how do you do this week after week? How much do you pay for the hacks for ACC? What's the secret?
Well, as the other ones, I think I haven't won by this much. But for Watkins, in the last month, I've done like 5 races already in Watkins.
Ah.
So I have a lot of time in Watkins.
You're telling me I have to practice to get good?
Yeah, you have to practice.
Nah, that's too much work. What's the real secret, Ricardo Rivera? 11.4 seconds in race 2. What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, it's practice and practice. No, actually, it's not as easy as it looks, but usually what I start in every track and every car combo, I look for the fastest lap I can find in YouTube and try to copy what I see. It takes some time and practice, but that's basically my secret. There's nothing.
That makes a lot of sense. And do you even do that with tracks that you've driven before?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. For example, like 2 weeks ago that I had the Ferrari Sport thing on event in Watkins. From there, I did a race on Monday here in Watkins, and now tonight, and I'm 3 to 4 tenths slower than I was for the Ferrari thing, for the amount of practice that I put those days before the event.
3 or 4 tenths slower, and that was even with the track temperature down in the 13 degrees Celsius. I can't believe that.
So yeah, I always go back to a video and look at once, and just those tiny little details when to get it back into throttle and stuff like that. Not like looking for braking points or that stuff, because that's usually once you do a race on a track, you remember the exact braking points of what more one. If you have to like tap the throttle in between the corner, or the exact point where you have to go back to throttle in the apex and stuff like that, like those tiny little details.
Aha, that makes a lot more sense. Those tiny little details is where you catch yourself gaining a few tenths or even a second per lap. It's not necessarily because it's easy. I just had to retrain myself on how to drive Indianapolis, for example, and I knew the braking points even from before. You know, I knew exactly where to brake just from driving the track. I knew how to get through the corners, but I didn't know how to be fast. And that's what I really should have looked at. I really should have looked at the throttle application and the brake application of, you know, Jardier, for example, and watched where he was kind of dancing on the brake pedal and the gas pedal to get the car to rotate better than what I was performing. That makes a lot more sense. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, most of them, they just brake a little bit earlier and get into throttle a little bit earlier than what maybe you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, you get some details like when they start turning into the corner and stuff like that.
That makes a lot of sense. And Amadeo Castorino and Mike Noss do a great job of doing that for the GT4s as well. Mike Noss obviously pointing that out. Great example of diving into the corner details bit by bit to know exactly where you should be doing, what you should be doing to get the fastest lap. Because you drive a track like Imola, you know where the break points are. They're pretty pronounced there, right? You know, you kind of figure it out by just driving it if you're a competent driver. But it's all these little details that add up. It's a 10th here, a 10th here, a 10th here. If you do that across 12 different corners, you know, there's basically a second, right?
Yep. Yeah, just like a tenth per corner. Then that's like a little tiny change. Will
Yep.
give you, like you say, the 8 tenths to a second.
Yeah,
the entire lap.
that's amazing information. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ricardo Rivera. I hopefully you have some competition to show you that what you said is not falling on deaf ears next week.
Yeah, I still there's people that ask why I still doing the series if I know I'm going to win every race, but I don't know. I take it as a serious practice more than actually being here for the whatever having competition or anything. Like if you take a look at my race, I'm not like cruising and just doing laps like myself. I'm still trying to put fastest lap every single lap and trying to figure out those tiny little changes that I mentioned before, even during the race.
And so when you do that, the real question I want to ask regarding that as well is, when you're pushing like that constantly, where are your mistakes? You know, that's what I'm really trying to figure out, Ricardo Rivera, is where is the chink, where is the kink in your armor for having these mistakes? Because you're pushing it so far out to the limit. How come we're not seeing you go off track at the bus stop chicane? How come we're not seeing you with these major tank slappers? You know, things like that.
Because maybe you see like a super crazy lap and think like I like pushing to the limit. I don't have anything more to gain, but here maybe I'm a tenth to a 2 tenths lower from my personal best every time on the bus stop. So maybe it's like, oh, he's pushing like crazy, but I have done those many laps that I'm not like at my super ultra limit every time I hit the bus stop. And I know I'll still have maybe like a 10 or 2 tenths there in the bus stop.
Got it.
So I'm what I'm comfortable with is probably 2 to 3 tenths faster than everyone else in the grid, but it's just by repeating and repeating and repeating the bus stop 100 times before getting into the race.
Got it. So you're really just still within your safety margin. That's what you're saying, is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're still not pushing it beyond the limits of your skill. You're still within all of your reasonable safety margins for you to perform at a very high level at.
Yeah, and you get having a fastest safety margin lap by just practicing. There's no other way. Because I know, for example, when you have like a super competitive grid like LFM Pro or something like that, you know, like every one of those guys can pull a lucky lap and do whatever, a 42.0 in Watkins Glens.
Sure.
But you know who practice by whom put like 42.0s every single of the 20 laps to compare the guy who have the same technique or ability, but he start putting maybe for a 42.2, a 42.5, a 42.1, a 42.3, versus the guy who put I don't know, 1,000 laps before the race, and he's gonna put the 42.0 every single lap for the entire race.
Got it. Seat time. It's all about the seat time.
Yeah, it's a hard sport or hobby.
And it's one of those sports too. I mean, sport or hobby, whatever way you want to describe it. It's the one thing that you can do in your living room where you're going to break a sweat. You know, this is like playing with you remember the Wii, the Nintendo Wii back in the day where you do the bowling and the exercising and all that stuff. Yeah. This is like that on steroids, to where You do 20 minutes of this and all of a sudden your back is hurting, your legs feel super stiff, your calves are really swollen. It's a lot different than, sitting down to play Sea of Thieves or CSGO or, a shooter like Call of Duty. You're not really getting your full body into it like you are with sim racing. So there's some level of physicality into it that's so demanding as well. And getting that physical muscle memory must be really important as well.
Yeah. For making the practice more efficient, I will recommend, I think it's not everybody can maybe get seat time every day, but maybe it's not the amount of time you practice for a particular race or track, is how you distribute it. I don't know, let me say, for example, I think it's more efficient to maybe practice 30 minutes each day, 3 days prior to the race, than put in 3 hours just before the race. Because it's half the time, the 30-minute sessions. For me, I think it's more efficient, because sometimes, for example, you get into turn 1 and you do the turn 1 in a particular way, and you start repeating it lap by lap by lap by lap by lap by lap, the same exact turn 1, and you think it maybe it's perfectly, but then you turn off the computer, you come the next day, and then you gain 2/10 in just that turn 1, and it's just because maybe you reset a little bit the muscle memory and do a tiny little bit differently, and wow, this is the way to take it. And by doing like practice a lot of hours the same day, you keep repeating that tiny mistake every time without noticing.
Yeah. No, I can't agree with you more. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen asleep for a racetrack I've been so frustrated with, come back to it the next day, and all of a sudden I'm, 3/10, half a second faster just by sleeping on it. It's just like, oh my God, where did this come from? It's just because of those tiny little mistakes you're able to avoid. But thank you so much for all this information, Ricardo Rivera. This has been an enlightening conversation and hopefully educational for all the viewers at home who are looking to find out what practice actually means and what it actually looks like. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add, or anybody you want to thank before we let you go, sir?
Every one of the people who's watching your amazing commentary on the stream, and thank to everyone who puts their little bit of time to have these leaks going on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ricardo Rivera. Appreciate you always being around in stream, and appreciate always watching you around track. You are a staple of the Tracklicious team now.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night, brother. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, folks. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for being here, and appreciate everybody in chat bringing on some good fun as well. And thank you very much to all the drivers participating out on track. We had over 24 people show up tonight. It was a hectic and amazing race. Thank you so much to all the drivers, and I will get my hydrate in, Undercover Raccoon, as soon as we wrap things up. Don't forget to check out the calendar. We'll review that one more time before we leave. We've got the GT4 Rookies Championship coming up on Mondays, with the GT4 Open right after that. Then we've got the NASCAR Truck Series on iRacing on Tuesdays, and Thursdays we've got the GT4 iRacing Championship as well. On Wednesday, we have the West Coast Wednesday Showdown at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we've got the GT3 Championship on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got a couple of special events coming up. We've got the Spooky Suzuki, we've got the Sprint Series at Zandvoort, and we've got the Flooded Silverstone Race, all in November through late October. So thank you very much, everybody, for your wonderful support. And always remember to please stay safe. Bye.